Well, to tell us a little bit more about the plight of the students, we're now joined by the University of Zimbabwe's Student Representative Council Secretary General, Munashe Cuthbert Masiyiwa. Thanks so much indeed for joining us and welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Peter and Doro, for having me here. Good evening, Zimbabwe. Good evening, South Africa. And good evening, Africa at large. Thank you.
All right, tell us about this steep increase. Did it come as a shock? Were you expecting such a hefty increase?
Okay, thank you very much, Peter. So what happened in the University of Zimbabwe is we witnessed an increase of tuition fees by over 700%. When we are at the state of the nation whereby we have 106% inflation, and most of the civil servants in Zimbabwe, they are living far, far below the poverty datum line. And we are having civil servants, nurses, teachers being paid in RTGS at an average of 25,000 RTGS, which is less than 1,000 rands in South Africa. And as students, we are not the ones who pay these fees. These fees are paid by our parents, and our parents are being paid peanuts. And the questions that the students were asking is this the right time for us, for the university, to increase the fees? While our nation, our economy is in shambles, while the civil servants are struggling, while more than 50% of Zimbabweans are living far below the poverty datum line, while there are no student grants, student loans at the university. So these are the questions that the students were asking, that is this the right time for us to increase fees with more than 700%, while the wages, while the salaries of our parents are stagnant.
What are the authorities saying to justify this increase? What reason have they given you?
They are not giving a rational decision or a justification to this increase in fees, because they are saying that as institution, they need money to run the institution, day-to-day running of the institution. But we understand that as students, this is a state-funded institution, and if we check the budget of the Minister of Finance, universities, in particular, University of Zimbabwe was given more than 5 billion to subsidize the University of Zimbabwe. We are saying, where is this money going? We are saying this is a state-funded institution. We should be subsidized by the government, because, yes, we definitely do understand that the institution requires some money to run day-to-day expenses and so forth. But we are saying, as students, yes, it might be reasonable to the institution, but the fees are not reasonable to those who are supposed to pay them.
So what are the consequences of this fee increase? Might we see students having to drop out?
Definitely, yes. I think we'll see 20 or so % dropping out, because we as SRC, we submitted a petition to the Parliament, the Committee of Higher and Tertiary Education. We also submitted, we are also going to submit a petition to the ministry, a petition to the Zimbabwe human rights lawyers, because we understand that they are infringing the rights of students, they are infringing the rights of citizens, because it is constitutional underpinned in Section 75 of our Constitution that is education should be accessible and affordable to all. So the consequences that we are going to see is more than 20% of students dropping out, because as SRC, when we were signing the petitions with the students, we realized that with our survey that more than 70 or so % of students at the University of Zimbabwe, they come from families of low and middle income earning. So definitely most of them, they are not going to be able to pay, number one, a tuition fee, which is more than $500,000. Number two, if you want to stay on a campus accommodation, you have to pay an amount which is equivalent to 616 USD. And this 616 USD can be mobilized by our parents in over 4 months for them to be able to pay these astronomical and exorbitant fees that the University of Zimbabwe is charging.
All right, so you took to the streets to protest, hashtag fees must fall, and the police came and arrested some of your members. They're all out of jail now, but are they still facing charges?
Yes, they are still facing charges. They were out on free bail. I think at first 14 students were arrested, and 12 of them, because students are afraid of jail, students are afraid of the police and so forth. They went to the police station and they just admitted that there was a public disorder and they were being asked to pay fine, and 12 of them paid. But there are other 2 students who are articulate, 2 students who really understand their rights. They said, no, we didn't. We didn't make a mistake. We didn't infringe what the Constitution says, because the Constitution under Sections 59, it gives the citizens the right to demonstrate and petition. They said, we are not criminals. We are going to court. And they went to court. They were given free bail. And on Wednesday, we had another mean demon on campus, and another 5 students, including 1 student who is in the SRC Secretary for Transport, November Msengi. They were arrested and they went to court on Friday and they got free bail, but they are going to appear again in court. I think next week they're going to appear again in court. But our message has always been clear, that is, no, the police, you should not arrest the students. What you should arrest, you should arrest the fees. What you should arrest, you should talk to the government and arrest the inflation that we are having in our country and arrest corruption that we are seeing on the university and at the country at large.
Has the president addressed this issue? The former president, Robert Mugabe, I know that education was something that he was passionate about. What about this president?
According to my own comprehension, I think, and my own understanding, my own perspective, I think the sitting president, who is Emmerson Mnangagwa, is not serious as far as education is concerned. Let us take a look at the budget of our Minister of Finance. You would realize that most of the money is channeled to state and security, the office of the president. What about education? What we should understand, as Nelson Mandela once said, education is the key to success. Education can change our lives. But what you're seeing in Zimbabwe is that we are not given the key. We are not going to be given the key. We are not going also to be given the door to use the key. So where are we going as a country? Because education builds and creates the future, and healthy protects the future. And in Zimbabwe, education is dead. Our health sector is moribund. So where are we going as a country? This is not only going to jeopardize the future of us as students, as individuals, but it's also going to jeopardize the future of Zimbabwe. It's also going to jeopardize the future of Africa at large. Because what we want at the end of the day, young people, is to see a great Zimbabwe, is to see a United States of Africa, a great Africa, an Africa with innovation, an Africa which can stand on the world stage and say, no, we should do this and this, in Africa which can innovate, in Africa which can start to make electricity cars and so forth. This is what we want. But without education, definitely we are doomed as a generation. Definitely our future as Africa is at stake. So what we need are leaders who are responsible, leaders that understand that there is no country without education.
Is the state offering any kind of support in terms of grants and scholarships to needy students?
No, definitely not. And we are shocked as student leadership. Why is it that we are not having student grants or student loans? But recently on social media, there is something which is circulating, which is definitely true, that the parliament wanted to give a tender to a company which was saying for you to buy 179 laptops, they need 1.6 million US dollars. So what you realize then is our country is in deep state of corruption. Our country doesn't even really care about the future of the country, about the future of education, because education is all that we need to emancipate the people of Zimbabwe, to emancipate the people of Africa.
So what do you do now? Are you going to continue with demonstrations? Your demands is for what, a freeze on fees increases, or what do you want?
So just today, we received a letter from Dr. Madambe, who is the Deputy Dean of Students and the acting registrar, saying that if you pay your tuition fees before 31 October, your 100% of your tuition fees before 31 October, you'll be given a discount of 12.5%. If you pay 50% off, 75% off your tuition fee before 31 October, you will receive a discount of 10%. But we are saying that education is not a commodity. Stop privatizing, stop commodifying education. Education should be a right, not a privilege. It's not a business whereby they say, you come first, we give you discount. You come first, there's 50% off and so forth. This is not a business. Don't play with education. Education is not a commodity. So our message still stands, is that as SRC, as students, what we want is fees to fall, not to start playing mind games with us, saying, no, we'll give you discounts, this and that. That's not it. What we want is the fee to fall. Then to ask the ways that we are going to use, we have demonstrated, we have presented a petition to the parliament. We are going to present a petition again to the ministry, like I alluded before, that we are also going to send a petition to the Zimbabwe human rights lawyers. With Zimbabwe human rights lawyers, we also managed to apply an agent, to have an agent chamber application to the High Court, so that they can see what we can do. They can see what can be done by the university, so that education, so that the fees must be reduced.
Munashe, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you very, very much indeed. We wish you the best, to you and the students there, that a solution can be found so that your education isn't disrupted. Thanks for your time.
Okay, thank you very much, Peter.
Thank you. All right, that's Munashe Cuthbert Masiyiwa, who's the Zimbabwe University SRC Secretary General, saying that fees, the increases that they've been hit with between 700 and 1,000% are just too much. And he says that as many as 20% of the students may have to drop out just because they can't afford these fees, and they're getting no help, no support from the state. And he says that without education, the future of the country and the continent looks bleak. Stay with us. You're watching The Globe.